Haven't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. That wouldn't it have been interesting if he had been raised on that farm in Arkansas, if he had gone to the military, learned to play the guitar, came back and started playing, but instead of going into music, became an educator like one of us. Don't you think that song might have turned out different? Can I hear it? I do. Can I hear that train just a little bit ago? He might have sang it this way. When I was just a baby, my mama said, don't be a fool. When you grow up, don't ever work in a school. But I became a teacher just to help my students learn more by and by. Oh my. But when I get my paycheck, I hang my head. One more verse. You see, one thing Johnny Cash stood for, actually when he was in his late 80s, he recorded a punk rock song. Because he believed that no matter what you did in your life, there was a mission. And your mission was to do this, to break down barriers. And isn't that our mission too in education? Aren't we supposed to be breaking down barriers? That we shouldn't let barriers keep kids from becoming what they could be because of artificial barriers. And I've known some people who have done great work in this regard. For example, I knew a third grade teacher named Elaine Bruno. And one of the things I loved about her is her groups were really fluid. That is, if she thought a child could do the work of a harder group, she invited that child up. And she did it so often that kids got used to the idea that if they were motivated, they wanted to try something more challenging, or Miss Bruno thought they could do it, they were going to try something, and so they weren't locked in. Jobs in the city, where we want to make night and day, and I live alone, day and sleep, wherever way, I flattered Tina because she kept on going, and she overcame all these obstacles over again, because the lesson we can take from Tina Turner is this: the importance of perseverance. And there's nothing more important when you're teaching kids than perseverance. All the educational research says so. Ellen Barger was a math teacher. And Ellen, when I went to observe her, she did something so astounding. She called on a girl in the front of the class. I'm sitting in the back watching her teach. She calls on the girl in the front of the class. The girl does not know the answer to the question. Ellen then pauses and asks her another question. The girl doesn't know the answer to that either. I'm sitting in the back of the room. Now, I used to teach 6th graders. I'm waiting for this sound. Right? Somebody else call on me, teacher's going to say that, and the teacher's going to move on. That's what I figure is going to happen. But that's not what happened. Ellen asks this girl a third question, and the girl doesn't get it. She's scaffolding down. And she gets to the fourth question, which is a much, much easier basic question, and the girl gets it partly right. And Ellen builds on that and then asks her a slightly more difficult question and she gets her almost all the way to the answer. Not completely, but the girl has answered at least 3 questions correctly, and then Ellen moves on. But she's not leaving this child until this child can answer several questions correctly. Ellen is using the research of Mary Budd Rowe in the way she's teaching this class. She's using a strategy called, you know the strategy? Wait time. She asks a question and she waits. And she gives the girl lots of time to answer, and if she gets it, that's called wait time 1, where you ask a question and you wait a long time. I realize that this is the way she operates. That every single child in this class knows that when Miss Barger calls on her or him, Miss Barger is not leaving you until you answer something correctly. And if you don't know the answer, Miss Barger does not think it's your fault. Miss Barger thinks she has not asked you the right question. because that's what great teachers do. You know, Doris Kearns Goodwin wrote a book called Team of Rivals about how Abraham Lincoln created a great team in his cabinet. And in it, she quotes Abraham Lincoln during his first anti-slavery speech. He said, "In order to win a man to your cause, you must first reach his heart, the great high road to his reason. It begins with the heart. You have to first reach out to one another." So what does it mean to be a professional friend? What I think it means is to trust one another when you work in a school, to help one another and offer to help even before someone asks. That when something goes wrong, you never throw anybody under the bus. Nobody has to be blamed. You just have to fix the problem together, right?